Hello and welcome to the House of the Spirits. Welcome home. This reading is going to be a collective reading. It's an all zodiac sign reading. I will be revealing in the end of the reading which part of this spread is specific to a sign or has the energy of that specific zodiac sign in the area of the reading. So this is an experiment, so I hope you enjoy it, and I will begin shortly. Okay, so let's see what this collective reading is about, what is the theme, and what is the message for the collective right now. Wow, powerful message. Mat with justice, the Egyptian goddess Mat, the goddess of justice. Beautiful. Okay. So, because we have the Egyptian theme, I think I will choose some different decks as I am led by spirit in this reading. I have no idea what's going to happen. Let's see. Pyramid. I'm sorry, the focus is a little bit off. Okay, number 7. And Seth. Number 16. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so right away I feel like collectively we are at a turning point that is going to, it's a destined event to balance the scales of justice. And I also think that this is a good time for everyone to individually focus on what is unfair in their lives and what needs to be balanced. What are the unjust parts of your life? Who do you feel like you have been unfair to someone, or that someone is unfair to you? So let's see. Okay, we have test, envy, fear, target, hard choices, and separation. Let's see what the other oracle card has. Border, castaway, separation, depth, relief, and observation. Interesting. So I also feel like that there are people on the sidelines, on the frontiers of a situation that are probably going to heavily influence that's the result of that situation. And I also feel like we are now collectively targeted by very heavy energies that are trying to separate people, like put a set of people on one side and the other set of people on the other side, and to kind of corner people into making hard choices. But I don't think that these choices are well informed, because we have Seth here, and Seth, if he is a part of this destined event, because Pyramid is a card of destiny, almost a little bit like the Wheel of Fortune, but not really. It is a card that heralds a period of material change. So something is happening, something is changing for sure. But the influence on this change is the energy of Seth. And Seth is very similar in a way to this test energy because of the envy and fear that this card makes you feel like you are surrounded by negative influences, and that might be real or not. That might be, our mind kind of playing tricks on us, or maybe it's very real. And in this case, I feel like this is very real. There are people who are maybe influencing this situation from the sidelines in a way, both positively and negatively. Because after all, what is happening right now is destined. With justice, it's really like a karmic event, a collective karmic event. I want to get some more oracle cards because I feel like maybe there's more to this. Okay. Seeds. Potential, explosion, simplicity, and humility. So the sideline thing that I'm feeling here is that maybe it's good for some people to kind of be, low profile at this point, because maybe you won't be a target for the other energies who are maybe in a similar position, but using their attention negatively to kind of twist things, twist the truth even. Okay, so let's get some tarot cards and see what this is all about. Okay. The world. So these are world events. And something is truly ending. The Five of Swords, or the Five of Arrows. A very costly victory. And the Eight of Swords, or the Eight of Arrows. The Ace of Cups. So at this point, I feel like we should trust our feelings more than we should trust our minds, because I feel like maybe this energy here is negatively impacting our minds. I also felt like maybe someone who is very important right now in the world stage is possibly going to depart from their physical body, and it is going to impact people. It's going to change how people feel about a situation very radically, but at the same time it will be like a very costly thing. With the castaway and the separation here. Explosion. Maybe something is exploding. I just hope I'm not being overwhelming to anyone. We will get to the deeper understanding of what is happening, but because we got the world, I really feel like this is a collective reading, and we will get to the personal aspects of this later. And okay, you know what? I will get some Kipper also, just to balance this out and see. Court person, 30. Maybe this is something happening on the 30th. And maybe it's someone who is related to court, or it's someone who is going to court. Maybe it's okay, so maybe the person who is departing from the physical body, or being, I see someone being like incarcerated in a way that it's like you're never going to see that person again. So it's almost like death, but at the same time, it can be the physical body here, because with the pyramid, it is very possible that that's going to change the whole mood. Receiving a gift. You see all the eyes. When I see this card, I always think about the collective, like being looked after, being, but in this case, surveilled, surveillance, vigilance, or maybe people lighting candles and praying. Okay. You know, court again. It's something that's happening to a person who is going through a legal matter, and that person will be cast aside, cast away, or possibly leaving this physical plane, which is possibly also confusing everyone. That's why it's more important, I feel like it's more important to trust your feelings and not so much what is happening around you. Okay. That's a lot. Let's see what we have. Blossoming with the Queen of Pentacles. Togetherness, and this translates to we are the world. 10 of Pentacles. So once again, it's, to me, it's the world stage, and it's also the end of an era, the end of something who has reached, something that has reached its full blossoming, its full maturation, with the fruit that's falling, that's ripe. Moment to moment, 2 of Pentacles. And the burden. The burden is the 6 of Swords. You see someone who is traveling, possibly climbing a mountain. But it's like you have this really tired character and someone is on top of it, of him, sorry. And the spirit of the I forgot the name. That's ridiculous. The rooster, sorry. The spirit of the rooster is like calling attention to itself without really, it's like being pompous, being, you know, attracting a lot of attention, but not really delivering. So this is a weak situation, right? It's not, it is a transition. You're climbing. Oh, as some people are climbing down and they are peaceful and they are flowing in the moment, other people are climbing up. So I feel like if you are truly in touch with yourself and with your emotional state personally, you will flow. You will like fly over the problems, and it will feel like going down the mountain. It won't be an effort. And it also kind of creates this parallel dimension or world, because this character here, he looks like a monk, like a Taoist monk or something similar. And he's like jumping on rocks that seem to be standing on a river, but there are blocks here that looks like a city. So it's like he's in nature and he's enjoying his dance on the rocks from moment to moment, and he's enjoying the moment. He's dancing through life. But this person here, it's like it's very hard. And he's truly, oh, you know, there's a humbleness here because he's dressed in black and white, very simple, but very flowy and lighthearted. And this person here is really like a noble, very elaborate costume. There's the rooster representing all this, you know, very, how do I say? I am missing a few words today, so sorry, they're kind of running away from me. But he's like attracting all the attention and being, you know, very, maybe he's a superficial person who just worries a lot about what's happening outside and what people think, but truly he's not happy. He looks angry. He's on a, like riding a peasant and someone who is like the underdog. So it's someone who needs like servants. And this person is completely free. He doesn't need anything. He's happy and he's just dancing. There's no effort here and no, doesn't depend on anyone or on anything to do this. Which is really, I think that the advice here for everyone is to detach from this situation, to just observe, like receiving a gift. If you are observing, if you are on the border and you put yourself on the border and try to observe, you will both see why this is happening and where's the mischief. Where are the people doing all the harm really? Because you will be like side by side with them. Suddenly you will realize, oh, so all the real, the bad influence on this, the worst of this is also on the borders, because they're keeping themselves there so that they are safe from the public eye, so that they're not seen. But this is also a gift for everyone who wants to see the truth, who wants to feel like there's justice in the world, like there's goodness, like we are together, like we are united, and that we are good enough to move on to the next level because something is ending, clearly ending. And it's a destined event. It's something that no one can really stop. And it's quite inevitable. So the court, justice is coming. So you have justice, you have a court person, you have the court. Court person to me is someone involved in a legal procedure. And this person, I think, is going to be affected, is going to be, it's like his or her, I'm not sure, karma is being exploited to confuse people, to make people think in a certain way. Let me see what else. Intensity with the Page of Wands. Yeah, I think people, this is to accelerate something. Like the purpose of this is to accelerate a change of sorts, or something that can influence people or make people more susceptible to this type of burden. Because I think that if people continue to live like this and to watch what is happening like this, they will be constantly burdened and they won't be able to flow. they'll be stuck on this mountain like Sisyphus, you know, carrying the Greek myth, like the one who carried the rock every day from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain, and then by the end of it, the rock would fall down and next day he would start again. So this will make you feel like it's a never-ending burden that you have to carry. Whereas moment to moment is the perfect state. Observing with vigilance, but not getting caught up by anything. Just moving from one foot to the other, from right to left. Right, left. You know, focusing on this duality, but never sticking to anything. Just letting it flow, letting the world turn, letting things mature on their own, not forcing and not being very intense, because the rooster is also a very intense character. It's like all that boastful intensity, but then what's beneath it, it's not really very interesting and not very productive. So I feel like this is a bit like all that, you know, fire, all that passion for nothing. And it's because this is not how we progress forward, actually. Because in this case, in this reading, I feel like this is moving us backwards. And this flow state is what moving us forward, and what's also making us enjoy the good things in life. And also one thing here, and it's not a coincidence that we have the world card, the A version, which is the Shakti version. The other version has Shiva. But I feel like there's a great advantage for people who are very much peacefully rooted in their own body. They embody that peace. They can do it. They can live it. They can express it. And it balances them. It balances the scales. And it puts people in their hearts more. They're still available. It's like you need to be available. Because if you close your heart and you're just in combat mode, you'll get lost. And you'll also lose something important. Sorry. Sharing with the Queen of Wands. So the losing something important is also this, how we share with each other. Because if we are manipulated by the powers that be to not share with each other, we will enter into this. It's not that we'll compete. I don't focus on that. What I focus is we will start to depend more on the people who maybe are like this. They don't have our best interest in mind, and they want to like put this weight on us that should be shared. Because if we are able to talk to each other, if we're not polarized and separated, we can collaborate. We don't have to agree on everything. We just have to share just enough. So that we can establish justice. So that we, the collective, can establish this justice and not depend on systems or groups of people or specific conditions and situations that might be influenced by this Seth energy, by this envious, fearful, horrible, nightmarish energy. Because Seth has no positive qualities at all. And in this reading, I feel like there's no way, because with the justice, there has to be a clear cut, between good and evil. And it's not between good people and evil people. It's between good deeds and bad deeds. This is how we progress. Because if we are discussing the existence of people, we will never win. There's no way we can progress forward. So I feel like this is the justice we need, is first of all to remove the power from the wrong people that are manipulating us into thinking that this is the way to go. And it's not because it's like, oh, it's exploitation of XYZ. It's not specific. What I'm saying is, if we are more in this flow state and we are not attached to whatever is being talked about, like in this moment, that I really feel like we are being manipulated at this moment. And the Eight of Arrows, the Eight of Swords, is a confusion card. There's a lot of confusion, and the only way we can leave this defeating confusion is if we are aware of how we feel, really, and we know ourselves. The Three of Cups, you see, there will be celebration when people share more. Interesting. Suppression, 10 of Wands. So this, to me, this is what is being suppressed, is the ability of people to arrive at an understanding, to be just and be fair with one another, first of all, on the personal level, and not engaging in this collective illusion. That's the best word I can, because I think that we are connected. We truly are connected, but we have to be mature. It has to come to fruition in some way, and on a practical level, like a daily life, like a mundane daily life level. This connection has to happen. If we are only connected like by devices, for instance, if we are not engaged in relationships, like real relationships with people, we will be like this. We will believe the hypes. We will believe everything, we see online. We will believe like the current fad, because the rooster is also like fashion. I see this person like I'm trendy, I'm fashionable, for the historical period that is portrayed here. It's very flamboyant, very important. Like appearances are very important, and it's so surface level. It's keeping us out of relationships with each other, and this is the way that we are controlled. This is the way that our energy is intensely directed at our own slavery, like our own self-oppression, we are looking at the wrong things. We are looking at the superficial level. We are just looking at the colors and the lights and the spectacle, and we are not really, our energy, our vitality is being sucked into that system. You see, it's a little bit like the Matrix, although these are ropes. You can see that they are ropes, but to me they kind of remind me of the tubes of the Matrix that connected to Neo and were keeping him alive, but at the same time sucking his life force away from him. So we have to connect more deeply so that we can move forward, so that we can discover ourselves in other people and use that power and that energy to help each other, to collaborate in a way that is positive for everyone and that also creates a world that is livable, that is enjoyable. Because I feel like injustice, the lack of justice, destroys the human spirit. This is, what Seth is about. It destroys the human will to live. When we are faced with injustice, when we feel like it's like hopeless for us, I feel like we lose that will to live, So observation more than participation here, flowing moment to moment, letting your emotions guide you, your feelings guide you, but the feelings towards other people, it's not what you feel about the current news, cycle. It's don't let the current news cycle change how you feel about the world, because justice will be done. Everybody will be watching, and the gift is to observe more than to interact with this process of justice that is going to happen. It's fated. Okay, so I want to just bring us just 4 more cards for clarification, final clarification on this reading. 1, whoops, 3, 4. Okay. So, the Ace of Swords, Truth, 7 of Swords. In this deck, this is illumination, knowledge, protection. Oh, also mysterious protection. Okay, so someone is guiding us. There's a mysterious protection. I see this candle here. And I think that if we talk to each other more, if we communicate more with each other, with warmth and generosity, we will find mysterious protection. 9 of Cups. And, wow, Ace of Pentacles. Even material wealth. We can have more material wealth if we join together, if we have a joint effort, combined effort. And it's also the case that with the 9 of Cups, we have a lot of emotional and physical well-being that is coming from our emotional state more so than our minds. The truth is coming out no matter what. It's kind of, at this point, it's so fated that it's kind of effortless. So, because I think that the groundwork to get here at this collective moment has been done before. So we don't need to get involved. We just need to take care of our own emotions, take care of our spiritual and physical well-being, so that we are more together, so that we are able to connect with each other. But on a practical level, I don't see it as being like all this virtual stuff, relationships. I feel like this is a big problem right now. This is bringing a lot of superficiality to our emotional states. It's unsustainable. We have to have that deep connection and that sharing and that guidance that comes from love for ourselves, for the moment that we are living, for our lives. Because living in such a superficial way, it's creating a uselessness in our moments that is very, very pathological. So very interesting collective moment, and a lot of advice that's very useful. I am now going to do something very experimental because I'm using my zodiac discs to see like which part of the reading is more. Oh, okay. So we already have Cancer coming out. I was just trying to shuffle, but let's see where it falls. I feel like here in the world, I feel like Cancer has some sort of truth to share with the world that can be very useful, because it's like an emotional portal and making things more like homey, because Cancer is the sign that rules the fourth house, the house of the astrological fourth house of the home, and also what is familiar. So what is familiar? Returning to what is familiar, or returning to a sense of home with this truth, this emerging truth. Okay. Sagittarius. I feel like Sagittarius is maybe Sagittarius is also a sign that is clearly very involved in the whole process of the justice, of the legal process, maybe. Maybe there's someone working in that part. But, you know, take it how it resonates with you. Taurus. I feel like Taurus might be gifted here with something. Okay. Virgo. Very Virgo. Yeah, the image is reminding me of Virgo. And it was just by chance. I didn't really think of this. So just bringing this connection to the body. I feel like this beautiful embodied experience, helping people be more embodied in their experience, maybe even with medicine. Okay, Capricorn. Capricorn, I feel like, so I don't know why I'm saying this, but maybe being barefoot on rocks is going to help, which is also kind of reminding me of Capricorn, because Capricorn is also the mountain sign, because it's the mountain water. It's the water that's deep inside the mountain, right? It's an earthy sign. It's an earth sign, but because it's half goat, half fish, there is a watery component to Capricorn. And this flowy state with the rocks, so water and rocks, something like that might be good for you right now. Pisces. Pisces, I feel like working on this part of the reading with the intensity of feelings, because I feel like Pisces is the sign of alchemy and transmutation, and helping people and helping the collective transmute all this intensity and letting it go into that ocean of feeling that Pisces has, that artistic nature also, but that ability to feel things in such an abstract way is nice, because it's going to help people transmute, and it's like give way to God and not feel like they are controlled, because Pisces rules the 12th house, the house of undoing. So it's also the house of liberation, of moksha, of ultimate freedom. So it helps with all these forces that are trying to suck the vitality out of the people. Libra, I think that Libra has something to do with this guidance here, this candle. And maybe it has to do with the spiritual part of this justice. Maybe you can collaborate with Sagittarius really well also right now, because I feel like the entities that are guiding us in this process of balance and justice, that is having a very, strong impact on the collective. The entities are maybe very familiar with the Libra collective that I'm talking to right now. Gemini, I feel like you are here with the Ace of Swords, and I feel like the Gemini collective might be the most capable of observing, of helping people with this observing and being vigilant and understand things rationally instead of being involved. You might also be a gift for the Taurus collective, because maybe they need Gemini help. They need that collaboration. Aquarius, I feel like you are here. I feel like you are between this destined event and this very strong energy, negative influence on the collective. And I feel like you have the strength and also the intellectual and mental ability to successfully mediate these energies and discern. So I also feel like you will be possibly, this collective is possibly very much involved in the whole, like the procedures, the legal, the documents, the studying all the details, then understanding, maybe even creating new laws to structure this new collective existence, maybe even legislation to help people connect more in the physical and less superficially. That's weird, but yeah. Okay, Scorpio, I feel like you're here. You are maybe here. And I feel like you are reminding people of something. I don't know why this is coming up. I think that you are the collective, the Scorpio collective is very helpful in this matter, because you will remind people of something in history and maybe remind people that some things are repeating themselves and that we can overcome them if we are honest. And if we have an honest look at history, a deep look, like don't be okay, that's another thing, because if there's one thing that Scorpio normally is not, is superficial. So it's the opposite of superficiality. And I feel like enjoying the body will also help us to not be superficial. Enjoying our emotions, the emotions that thriving in our bodies elicit. Aries. I see Aries here being one of the signs that is going to be the most important, starting when this all ends, starting something new when this all ends. So maybe this sign is also involved in a lot of initiatives that are born out of this situation. And finally, we have Leo. Leo, I feel like you are here. I feel like you are in this togetherness. You are, I feel like your characteristics are really good, like for leadership. So maybe you are also a leader here. So I would say like Aries is going to be more like a pioneer in certain like financial matters, new material endeavors, projects that are going to be born out of this adversity out of this adjustment that we are going through collectively. And you are going to lead people, like lead the hearts of people into another project, into this new sharing, this new way of sharing that's deeper, that's more personal, that's more warm. There's a warmth here, there's a physicality that has little to do with this new, online virtual world. I feel like we are on the cusp of this huge change into a more physical reality. So it's a bit strange because maybe most people will disagree, will say that we are going into the opposite. But I feel like this is happening because it's fated, because there's a lot of negativity that has to be released, and it's karmic. You have the court happening twice, and you have justice. So there's no escaping justice in this case. So interesting. I really enjoyed this. This was a cool experiment. If you also enjoy this reading, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you can get some more of my videos in your feed. And share the video if it resonated with you. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.